the best way that I could describe Alex Smith's career is just a roller coaster ride. I thought he had a decent stretch towards the end of his run, like I said, when he was playing with the San Francisco 49ers. He had a pretty solid stretch with Kansas City, even though that they never really made any sort of major progression into the playoffs. Usually it's because they ran into New England. I still thought he was a decent quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then obviously when he was playing with the Washington football team, things definitely kind of went out of control after he broke his leg and had that gruesome compound fracture. I mean, to be quite honest with you, the fact that he was able to come back from that and play last year and win comeback player of the year, that to me is his biggest accomplishment throughout his entire career. Because to me, that is a career-ending injury to pretty much the majority of players that sustain that type of injury. And the fact that he was able to come back and get that team to a playoff team, to at least get that team to the playoffs, it is kind of a testament to his character. And just that dude is just tough. I mean, I wouldn't have blamed him if he retired after that leg injury that he had. But the fact that he came back, and to be quite honest with you, it was pretty uncomfortable watching Washington football games last year, simply just because I just don't want to see another injury to that leg again. And there was the thing I just couldn't get out of my head when he's out there on the field, just the potential of I hope to God he doesn't injure that same leg again, because if he does, dude, there might have been a very good chance that he would have lost his leg. I mean, he damn near lost his leg dealing with the complications from the surgery after he broke it.
Infections and all that shit.
The fact that he was able to come back and win comeback player of the year after everything that he went through, man, that's
grit, bro.
What more do you want to? What more do you want me to say about the guy? That to me is his biggest accomplishment. The fact that he was able to come back from that and get Washington to the playoffs last year. You have to give the guy a little bit of kudos for that, because I don't think anybody would have had any problem with him just hanging it up after that leg injury, dude. I wouldn't have.
Nope. No, I mean, like you said, I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head here. Alex Smith's career wasn't anything statistically phenomenal. He has some playoff berths on pretty much every team he's actually been on. I mean, obviously, San Francisco, we talked about, an NFC matchup against the Giants to go to the Super Bowl. In Kansas City, he had that crazy game against the Colts where they ended up losing 45-44 in 2014. Obviously, last year he led Washington with a 5-1 record when he started, but unfortunately he didn't get to play the game due to an injury. I believe he was dealing with a calf strain. So, I mean, Alex Smith, I mean, at the bare minimum, like Kyle said, man, he's just fucking tough, dude. The guy overcame a lot of injuries outside of his actual broken leg. I mean, he had a shoulder injury. He missed a couple of games with concussions. I mean, there aren't a lot of quarterbacks in this current generation that could have overcome what this man has overcome. He was a great pillar in the locker room. A lot of people talked about him a multitude of times, like how good of a teammate he was, how efficient he was, his work ethic, and so on and so forth. But I mean, if we're talking about Alex Smith, the quarterback, he was never anything. He wasn't like a razzle dazzle like a Patrick Mahomes. He wasn't out there throwing for 500 yards. He wasn't out there throwing for 4 touchdowns a game. He wasn't really a risk taker. And I know that we had done an episode when we had our podcast separated, and the kind of role that Alex Smith plays, and it's very conservative. We all know that he was a under 10 yards kind of quarterback, like a system quarterback, slants, ins, comebacks, and whatnot. He wasn't really the throw the ball deep kind of player. And a lot of times that we always thought, at least in my house, that hindered him from becoming great, because he was an accurate quarterback in his career. I mean, his completion percentage as a whole was 63% or 62.6, which is a pretty solid number. So, I mean, like when Alex Smith played good, he played great. And like Kyle said, his best year was in Kansas City in 2017 when he had over 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 5 picks. Unfortunately, that happened to come on the heels of Patrick Mahomes' emergence, in which Pat Mahomes played the final game of that season, and that's all she wrote from there. So Alex Smith was a great football player. He was fun to watch when he was on. And like Kyle said, one of the toughest guys you'll ever see because of that injury could have ended any average man's life in a lot in more ways than one. But he not only came back, he played professional football again, and he played it effectively because a 5-1 record in the NFL with a Washington football team that wasn't exactly in the best position to win, it says a lot about his character and his willingness to win. So, shout out to Alex Smith for having a great career. He can now actually, run around and play with his kids and enjoy life, man. No more risk in that leg because thank God he made it out, and thank God he did what he needed to do because that could have went in the complete opposite direction if he got hurt again this year.
Didn't he have like a weird stretch where he played like, I want to say almost like damn near like a full year without throwing a touchdown to a wide receiver?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Kansas City. That year he threw 26 touchdowns. I'm almost positive they were all to tight ends or running
Yeah,
backs.
like it was crazy. I think one of the touchdowns I think he threw to was Sammy Watkins. I believe. I might be wrong on that. But I'm probably wrong on that. Someone could fact check me on that later. But it's like you said, though. This guy, to be able to come back from an injury like that is just, it is kind of a testament to just his overall just tough as nails mentality to come back from something like that. It's just, I know I couldn't have. I see my freaking bone popping out of my leg. Nope, I'm good. I'm done. I'm not trying to come back from that. At that point, it's just like, bro, my life is at risk at that point. And for him, it was. And I'll never forget. I remember he posted a video. I believe it was on Instagram, and it was a video of his whole family and him celebrating the fact that he was cleared to come back to regular football activities. This was before last season. And I remember he had this leg sleeve on with the leg that he was still recovering from the surgery. And I remember him walking around, and you could almost see like there was still like a small little gimp to his step. Like even though he was playing with his kids and his wife was around in the video, I was still a little uncomfortable with the fact of like, I'm still a little shaky about that leg, dude. Just you get one of those injuries. It's just, it makes you squirm a little bit just because you hope to God he doesn't hurt that same leg again.
Oh yeah. That was,
but like you said, great career. The fact that he was able to get the Washington football team last year to the playoffs, you got to give him a lot of credit. And that was coming off the heels after Kyle Allen dislocated his ankle. So, granted, he wasn't, I wouldn't consider, he's nowhere near like a Hall of Fame quarterback. Did go to 3 Pro Bowls. So, he was able to put up some decent years. Like you said, his best year was in 2017 as far as statistically goes with the Kansas City Chiefs. But it's good highlights throughout his career. I think it's definitely a career that he can look back on and definitely smile at.
Yeah, no, you have to look back at a career like this, knowing everything you had gone through and all the obstacles you had to overcome and challenges as not only an athlete, but as a man, bro. You're sitting there and you're like, bro, I just fucking shattered my leg. Like, do I really want to go through this shit again? Like, do I want to risk it all? And I remember watching that video he posted on IG today, and he said he almost gave up in therapy and hung it up until like, I guess like a doctor or a trainer like threw a football at him. And like he said, like holding it in his hand gave him every ounce of motivation all over again. And like me going through my own rehabilitation with my head surgery, like, bro, like I felt that. Like I felt that to a whole nother degree. Like, dude, it's like it takes one sentence, one phone call, one text, something that just flips the switch and everything changes. So I mean, like, I guess like the actual like feeling of what he's been doing basically his whole life, telling him like, bro, you're not done yet. I think that's crazy. It just pays testament and homage to the type of person that he is. And unfortunately, more than likely, a player like Alex Smith won't ever get to the halls of Canton. But we all know that he definitely deserves to be remembered as one of the toughest football players we've ever seen, for sure.
For sure.